Hello everyone and welcome. Thanks for joining me again for Swill's Sunday session number 5. I don't know where the time's gone. So a lot of people have been enjoying these sessions and saying it brings us all together, which is great, and I love all the comments and everything. This one though isn't actually live today as you're watching it. I had to record it a little bit earlier because my internet was going off. So this is a pre-recording, but I'll be watching it on my phone, or if the internet's back on, I'll be able to watch it on my laptop and, answering your comments. If I can't, if I'm just on my phone, I'll be watching the comments. So keep commenting. As with all of these, there's a theme. The theme today, if you didn't guess it from the poster, is Night of 1,000 Candles. Our first album, the Men That Couldn't Hang's first album and first trip into a recording studio. And what a trip that was. So all the songs are from that album, apart from one, and they're all requests, apart from one. This is a request from the Scottish contingent who watched last week for the Scottish-themed Sunday session. And apparently this brings back memories of getting on the train back up to Scotland after seeing the Men That Couldn't Hang in London and all the adventures that entails. It goes like this. Winter 1981, down at the station, sleeping bag and 6 3-pence, heading for Waterloo Station. Last night I shook my father's hand, told him I was leaving, but as the train sped by the docks, my heart stayed on believing. And sometimes I wish that I was rich, sometimes I wish that I was dead, sometimes I wish that I was back on the train. Sometimes I wish that I was home again, but I'm struggling with the cats and I'm running with the dogs, drinking down the poison to the bottom of the dregs, looking for the secrets in the little white bags. Hey! Sometimes I wish that I was rich, sometimes I wish that I was dead, sometimes I wish that I was back on the train, sometimes I wish that I was home again, but I'm struggling with the cats and I'm running with the dogs, drinking down the poison to the bottom of the dregs, looking for the secret of the little white bags. As all the friends I left behind I slowly on the dole, the factory on the big estate is swallowed my best friend whole. Now I'm living in a house with squad, watching an old TV, and all the days pass me by but never stop for me. Sometimes I wish that I was rich, sometimes I wish that I was dead, sometimes I wish that I was back on the train, sometimes I wish that I was home again, but I'm struggling with the cats and I'm running with the dogs, drinking down the poison to the bottom of the dregs, looking for the secret of the little white bags. Hey! Whew, Jack Dandy, ladies and gentlemen. Cheers. Cheers, everyone. Ho ho. So, yes, moving swiftly onwards. This next song is from that album, of course, as well. And I think this one was produced by Tony Poole, I think. So we had 2 producers in that album. We had Tony Poole and we had Phil Chevron. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Hello, Monty. Yeah. And I think Alan Thornlow might like this one because it's got some whoa-whoas in it. Whoa, 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 whoa. The day of your death was a cold, cold day, but the flames, they scorched the sky, and the neighborhood people, they stood in the street and coldly watched you die. Now this is a green and pleasant land. From across the ocean you came, for to a room you worked the loom, the day that brought the flame. Now once these streets were gold, but now these streets are cold. Dogs have for a home. Every door is locked, though they never ever knocked. We wait for a kingdom to come. Whoa, 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 yeah. There's home for sale in York, when the men snuck out to work. They took the scraps from their master's hands. But despite this bloody race to the city of disgrace, it's still somebody's promised land. Now once these streets were gold, now these streets are cold. Dogs are for a home. Every door is locked, though they never ever knocked. We wait for a kingdom to come. Whoa, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. The day of your burial was a cold, cold day, and the ground was frozen hard, and the mourners sang an immigrant song, and the police stood guard. Yes, they dug the grave of the immigrant 6 feet under the turf. They let his poor blackened body integrate with the English earth. Now once these streets were gold, but now these streets are cold. The dogs are for a home. Every door is locked, though they never ever knocked. We wait for a kingdom to come. Whoa, 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 whoa. The Kingdom Come. That was for Andy Page. All right, now we get a little bit trickier. So, this song wasn't actually on the vinyl version of Night of a Thousand Candles, but it was on this EP, the Greenback Dollar. Greenback Dollar and Night to Remember. Night to Remember was originally going to be the A-side, but it's produced by Nick Lowe, as was Greenback Dollar. But the record company decided that Night to Remember might have been a bit too poppy, and Greenback Dollar was a bit more rocky. But anyway, they're both firm favourites. In fact, Night to Remember is in the set most times. But the interesting thing is, looking at this now with these lovely mug shots on the back, is that so those 2 tracks were produced by Nick Lowe. The other 2 tracks on here, The Bells and Hail or England, were produced by the Men They Couldn't Hang and Harold Bergen. Now, the thing is, obviously, the Men They Couldn't Hang were quite new in the recording studio, as I said, and I listened to this today, and to be honest, I don't think the version of The Bells is particularly good on here. I think the version of The Bells is outstanding, is a version with just Cush and Bobby Valentino, which is on the Smugglers and Bounty Hunters live album, which I think might be out of stock now. But that is kind of the definitive version. And I think we play it, when we do play it, we play it a lot better these days live. But anyway, so this song, Jamie Hill asked if I'd do this. So I'm going to do it. Kush normally sings it, but also I'm going to try the harmonica on this and see what it sounds like. I was born to the sound of a ringing bell, sound that had a tale to tell, a tale that taught of a time to come, time and a ringing bell. As I grew strong, they built the land, built with the labor, the brain and the hand, the brain to plan, the hand to take the crystal from the sand. One winter's morning, I was wed, became a man in a hotel bed. The bells were ringing as we left the church, ringing in my head. So ring out the bells, ring out the bells, ring out the bells, ring. What you never had, you'll never miss. What you always had's like a deadly kiss. And if I had a wish, I had a time between the chimes of the bells. Sing it! Ring out the bells, ring out the bells, ring out the bells, ring out the bells. The years went past, a boy was born, champagne bubbled and suits were worn. The older I get, the deeper in debt, dusk gets nearer than dawn. So ring out the bells, ring out the bells, ring out the bells, ring out the bells. The bells, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. The bells with harmonica. So I'll just have a little sip here. And apparently, according to harmonica playing friends of mine, the best way to kind of clean your harmonica and get it ready to play, which I did earlier, is to dip it in your pint or into a large whiskey. Personally, I think that's probably just to stop people from stealing your drink. So another request, which I'm going to also play harmonica on. Hopefully it will come out all right. This one was from Chris Barnes, and he asked for a ukulele version of Walkin, Talkin. So this fits in nicely. Well, there's nothing I can tell you that you don't already know. I'd like to tell you something, but I won't. But I'm not gonna waste my time and breath talking to you. I got much better things to do, like walking, talking, and singing to myself. Walking through the country, counting flowers, dodging raindrops, climbing hills, lazing on the grass, entertaining myself for hours. Well, I'm fed up with your moaning, fed up with your lies, fed up with your dirty tales too. Don't wanna hear about your money or hear about your wife. I got much better things to do, like walking and talking and singing to myself. Walking through the country, counting flowers, hey, dodging raindrops, climbing hills, lazing on the grass, entertaining myself for hours. Here we go! Like walking, talking, and singing to myself. Walking through the country, counting flowers, dodging raindrops, climbing hills, lazing on the grass, entertaining myself for hours. Well, there's nothing I can tell you you don't already know. I'd like to tell you something, but I won't. I'm not gonna waste my time and breath talking to you. I got much better things to do, like walking and talking and singing to myself, walking through the country counting flowers, dodging raindrops, climbing hills and lazing on the grass, entertaining myself for hours. Here we go. Thank you very much. Walking, talking with a sliding harmonica for Chris. And now, where are we now? Ah, yes, okay. So before I do that, I just wanted to say that I got this in the post from Paul Simmons, and this is his new. It's a 4-track EP that he's put together. New songs from Paul Simmons, featuring Naomi Bedford there on backing vocals. 4 great tracks available from their Bandcamp page and hand decorated by Naomi. So you can get that from, I can't read it there because I haven't got my glasses on, but it says Facebook/Bedford.Simmons, I think. If you can't find their Bandcamp page, I've got a link on my Bandcamp page. My Bandcamp page, I can remember, that's www.swillodgers.co.uk. So here's a song that wasn't requested because no one's ever heard me do this. So during lockdown, my dog's trying to get out. So during lockdown, I've been working on several different projects, some collaborations with other. There he goes, he's chasing the cat now. Monty, come on. Some collaborations with other musicians. And one of those is, well, I had this idea ages ago because when I did my first album, my first solo album, Swill and the Swagger Band, one of the reviews compared it and my approach to Phil Ochs, and I loved that, and I've been sort of milking it ever since. I love Phil Ochs. And so over the years, I've dropped hints here and there about doing an album, and I've sometimes said all the news that's fit all the news that's fit to whisper, all the news that's fit to shout. I'm going to play it on one of his things. Can you hear that dog? His name's Monty. Monty. So from a musician up north, you know him when I announce the album. It won't be for a little while yet. So we've recorded a couple of songs already. This is one of them. So it's Phil Ochs' song, and it's a very rare one if you know his stuff at all. It's called Hunger and Cold. Well, I've been around your dirty old city, been all around your dirty old town. And I've slept in your alleys, slept in your subways, hunger and cold, they follow me down. Hunger and cold, I wouldn't mind, but I'm growing so old. Low as I am, you know I'm just a man, and I wouldn't mind, but I'm growing so old. Well, only last year I was rolling in money, only last year the good times would roll. And only last year my friends were so many, but only last year, so long ago. Hunger and cold, I wouldn't mind, but I'm growing so old. Though as I am, you know I'm still a man, and I wouldn't mind, but I'm growing so old. It's so easy to throw me in prison, it's so easy to just walk on by. But it's not so easy to see a man hungry, it's not so easy to look in his eyes. hunger and cold, hunger and cold. I wouldn't mind, but I'm growing so old. But now as I am, you know I'm still a man. But I wouldn't mind, but I'm growing so old. Yes, there's poison in my cheap rotten liquor. There's poison in each garbage can. But the worst kind of poison, it's in your mind. You look at me, you don't see I'm a man. Hunger and cold, hunger and cold. I wouldn't mind, but I'm growing so old. Low as I am, you know I'm still a man. But I wouldn't mind, but I'm growing so old. Hunger and Cold, from the forthcoming collaboration album that I think will go on a general release. I think I'll put it on Bandcamp, but it will probably be on a general release. And of course, I've got to record when lockdown's finished and I can get out again into the recording studio I'm meant to be in to record the proper album from the demos that were Uketown. So Uketown demos are available on my Bandcamp page, but the album with a whole bunch of musicians on there has yet to be recorded. Okay, so yes, I was talking about this album, wasn't I? I was talking about the producers and so on. So looking at the back here, it's strange because we got produced, half the tracks produced by, or maybe a bit more actually, most of the tracks produced by Tony Poole, good friend of ours from Shepherd's Bush, who was in a band called Starry Eyed and Laughing, and doing some great stuff now as well. I'll put a link up at the end. But so he produced Night to Remember, Day After, Jack Dandy, Johnny Come Home, Hush Little Baby, which I think is one of the best tracks on there, A Walkin, Talkin, Kingdom Come, and Scarlet Ribbons, Greenfields of France, and Ironmasters were produced by Phil Ochs. Now, Phil Ochs, who later went on to join the Pogues, as you know, he's sadly deceased now, but we knew him from the Radiators from Outer Space. I don't know if you know that band, but check them out if you don't know them. Irish punk band. But what I thought was interesting, so last week I was talking, or the other week I was talking the story about the Men That Can Hang being told to drop their name so he could be on the radio. And one of the names suggested was The Men. But what's interesting on the back of here, our credits are, it just says The Men. Kush, singer guitar, Swill, singer guitar, tin whistle, melodica. Shan, bass, and Tibetan anus flute, which has caused some confusion over the years. Paul, guitar, bouzouki, and keyboards. And John, drums and percussion. There we are. Oh, but the amazing thing as well, looking through this, we had Lindsay Lowe on trumpet, and Lindsay Lowe was in Jamie Wednesday, and we had Graham Sharp, who owned the studio, Elephant Studios, where we recorded it. He played some amazing Spanish classical guitar on Hush Little Baby. But the truly amazing thing, the most outstanding performance when we were there in that studio, we were blown away anyway. We were blown away by being in a proper recording studio. The only one we'd been in before the engineer had fallen asleep in was Tom Keane came in and played Ilian Pipes. He played Ilian Pipes on Scarlet Ribbons. And it was astounding and very emotional. And maybe I'd had too much the night before, but well, it made me weep. And I don't think I was the only one either. So moving towards the end of this little Sunday session, this is an old story that's rarely ever told, but it's a special request. And anyway, tonight, this is for Phil Ochs, really. Oh, this is an old story that's rarely ever told. The raping of the country of the valley. The men who came to reap with a musket and a Bible. They wanted to take the valley. The valley, the valley. They wanted to take the valley. Though the Ironmasters, they always get their way. And so for a pittance, all the people work the land, all the men and the women and the children. On Sundays it was down to the chapel and the town. The preacher said, give generously, give generously, give generously. The people they gave generously. Though the Ironmasters, they always get their way. The union met in secret on the dark side of the hill, by the light of 1,000 candles. The pay had been cut, all the people coming out, by scores they would join in Rebecca, Rebecca, Rebecca. The people would join in Rebecca. Though the Ironmasters, they always get their way. Ryan! Ironmasters call the army, they call the hungry from the Irish Sea. Ironmasters call the Parliament, it's no sin to fight to be free. From the smoky sacks of Brecon through the hills of Abervale, from Swansea Docks to Merseyside and Liverpool, with the union leaders crushed, the unions quickly smashed, they blacken the face of the country. The country, the country, they blacken the face of the country. The Ironmasters, they always get their way. Now on a hill in Brecon is Crushy's ruined house. It blackens out the green of the valley, and on its battered grave is the epitaph they gave. It stands there, God forgive him, forgive him, forgive him, and all who rot in hell with him. No, the Ironmasters, they always get their way. And oh, the Ironmasters, they still get their way. Woo! The Ironmasters. Hey. Thank you very much. Right. Before the last song, I just wanted to say that, thank you for supporting me and, coming back over these last few weeks to watch this. I hope you've enjoyed it. It seems like people are saying that it's like a coming together, and I think that's true. So it doesn't matter where we are, we can all be together for a little while. And obviously there's loads of other sessions going on. There's Rob Johnson coming up after this. Next Thursday there'll be Kush doing his Clap for the NHS session. Starts at 8 o'clock. He starts out in the street playing, and he comes in to the house and continues for another 25 minutes or so. Loads and loads of stuff happening. This is the last one in my calendar, but maybe in my naivety I thought that things might be sort of getting back to normal by now, but clearly they're not, and clearly there's some things going on that some people are getting away with things, Cummings, etc. But anyway, so there probably will be another one next week, and there probably will be ones going into June as well. But people said, right, so people have donated, people have put some money in through PayPal, which is fantastic. But and there's a free download of these sessions. You can put money in if you want to, but don't if you don't want to, or if you can't afford, don't feel obliged in any way whatsoever. But people have been asking for some new merchandise. So last week, nobody got the competition right. I said, who could they guess who's going to be the artist? But look, this is the new T-shirt. I'm extremely pleased with that. If you go to the Bandcamp page now, that's up there for sale, and there's a tea towel too. But nobody got the artist. But anyway, I'm going to tell you who the artist is. It's Ali Fell. Ali Fell is an amazing comic book artist, and he does other stuff, illustrations and books and so on. But for a competition for this week, I just want to ask you, can you name Ali Phil has worked in the Menacont Hang world before, done some album cover design work. Can you name what he did? And then I'll put it up on this group thing when it comes up. So first one who can name Ali Phil's connection previously with the Menacont Hang family will win a wonderful prize. So the last song. Yesterday was Cush's birthday. I'm not going to say how old he was. That would be ungentlemanly of me. But it was, it was the same as my last birthday. We're both the same age now, just separated by a couple of months. Cush is in isolation in Wales, and I did get a message from him. I know what he's been doing. He's been enjoying himself in isolation, as you can imagine. But he would much rather be out there, maybe in a pub, having a pint with friends, or who knows. But none of us can do that at the moment. So this is the last song. It's been requested quite a few times, and I've said no because I thought I'd leave it to Cush. Cush did do it on Thursday, and he sang a few songs that I sang. So I'm going to sing this one that he normally sings, and it's for Cush's birthday. Hopefully, I'll get the words right. How do you do now, young Willie McBride? Do you mind if I sit down beside your graveside? Rest for a while neath the warm summer sun. I've been walking all day and I'm nearly done. Well, I see by your gravestone you were only 19 when you joined the great fallen of 1916. Well, I hope you died well, and I hope you died clean. Oh, young Willie McBride, was it slow and obscene? Did they beat the drum slowly and play the five lowly? Did they sound the death march as they lowered you down? Did the band sing the last post, the chorus? Did the pipes play the flowers of the forest? Did you leave a young wife or a sweetheart behind? Some faithful heart is your memory enshrined. And although you died back in 1916, that faithful heart, you're forever 19. Or are you a stranger without even a name? Enclosed forever behind a glass frame, and an old photograph gone battered and stained, faded to yellow and brown leather parade. Did they beat the drum slowly and play the five lowly? Did they sound the death march as they lowered you down? Did the band sing the last post chorus? Did the pipes play the flowers of the forest? As the sun now it shines on the green fields of grass, there's a soft summer breeze makes the red poppies dance. Look how the sun shines under the cloud. no gas, there's no barbed wire, no guns firing now. Oh, but here in this graveyard, it's still no man's land. Countless white crosses stand mute in the sand. And through man's blind indifference to his fellow man, the whole generation who were butchered and damned, did they beat the drum slowly and play the fife lowly? They sound the death march as they lowered you down. They're the bands on the last post chorus. They're the pipes, play the flowers of the forest. Now young Willie McBride, I can't help wondering why those that lie here know why did they die. Did they believe when they answered it all? Did they really believe that this war could end wars? Oh, the sorrow, the suffering, the glory, the pain, and all the killing and all the dying, it was all done in vain. And young Willie McBride, oh, it happened again. And again and again and again and again, did they beat the drum slowly and play the fife lowly? Did they sound the death march as they lowered you down? They're the bands on the last post, the chorus. Did the pipes play the flowers of the forest? Thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the evening and have a great week. Thank you. See you next Sunday. Cheers.